Good evening, sports fans! Crowbat for the win of the Token Minorities here today with GBA D-League Season 4, Week 5. This is my team builder for the week. I'm excited to play the Baltimore Oriolus ChoiceCJ. So this is my first time I'm actually ever playing him, and I'm pretty hyped for that. I want to obviously get a win, so I put together what I think is one of the best possible squads I could possibly bring against him. But before I talk about my squad, why don't we talk about his team just for a moment, just real quick. Alright, so ChoiceCJ has got the Megaladios, the Terrakion, Suicune, Klefki, Celebi, Swampert, Darmanitan, Drapion, Gligar, Kamala, Raikou, and just as a note, Terrakion and Kamala could be Z-move users. So of course, he's got a plethora of threats there. He's got the Megaladios, it just can always be a problem. Terrakion can be difficult to deal with if it sets up the wrong way, or if it just uses its Z-move. That certainly is in the cards for him. I could see a Z-Terrakion definitely come into this game. I don't think Terrakion has the best matchup, but there's never really a bad matchup for Z-Terrakion. So, I could definitely see it. Suicune, I know it's going to be difficult to break, but I have multiple strategies that I'm going to attempt to make work, and hopefully be able to break it. As even Draco says in Rocky, I must break you. Well, Suicune, I must break you. I will do that, I promise. Klefki. Oof, that could be interesting. I mean, it's not threatening offensively, but just given he could put status on a lot of my team, definitely could be troublesome. And Darmanitan. Oh man, that's gonna hurt. So for sure, I gotta do a lot of predicting. I've gotta make sure I preserve my mons properly. I've gotta go pretty bulky this week. Normally, I've been playing more offensive. Maybe not hyper offense quite, but somewhere between balance and hyper offense is where I've been playing recently. This game, I'm tilting more towards probably balance to bulk. Maybe not stall per se. That isn't my goal, but bulk to balance, somewhere in that mix is where I want to have my team for this week. So that's his team, just as my quick overview here. So why don't we talk real quick about my acknowledgements for this week. So this team was heavily influenced, and he gave so many great ideas by two people in particular. So number one is my boy Kaz, who is just the greatest of all time at team building, at being a wingman for the Nidokings. He's the jack of all trades, the goat of all. He really helps in every step of team development and even revisions, everything. So he just deserves the biggest shout out in the world. And many of these, I'm not going to go over each individual move and things that he contributed because I just don't remember. I should probably start keeping track of it, but he definitely had a huge impact on this team, as he does every week. And then my boy Gino as well. He's actually a Twitch streamer, so I recommend you check his Twitch stream out below. He does a lot of speedruns and stuff, so he helped to work on this team when revisions came around, and his contribution, and he gave me a mock battle as well. So, and his contributions are always really appreciated. Thank you guys so much, and thank you guys to the other guys who gave me mock battles for this week. So that would be Stab, that would be Dallas, and that would be Jolt. Thank you guys so much. Alright, so why don't we jump into team discussion? So, the first mon for the week is Toxapex. Alright, so Toxapex was probably the first mon on my list for this week. And it is very important for Darmanitan. It could blow our team apart if we are not careful. But the good thing is for Toxapex, now a lot of this is pretty straightforward, I'm going to say it anyways. The moves are, of course, I probably should talk about these as well. Black Sludge, Regenerator ability, Haze, Toxic, Scald, and Recover. It's pretty good against Terrakion. It's good against non-sub Calm Mind Suicune. And the EVs that we have, we want it to be max physically bulky to deal with Darmanitan, except the 20 in special defense means we live one Psychic from Megaladios. We can get a Toxic off, we can have some fun shenanigans there, and like I said, just max Fizz Bulk. It's pretty straightforward, actually. I realize some of these sets are pretty straightforward. They're not super uber heat or anything that can't be explained away pretty quickly, right? Except maybe one of them, and that was actually an idea I hatched, and I'm excited to present that. We're going to get there in a moment. So, drum roll please. Mon number 2 is, unfortunately, Silvally Fairy. Guys, I tried to hold out as long as I could. I wanted to keep that meme alive, that I was not going to bring Silvally Fairy all season, but I realized it had a good matchup this week, and Kaz definitely absolutely agreed with me. So, we have Silvally Fairy this week, and with this Silvally Fairy, we've got Fairy Memory, Arceus System, Parting Shot, Multi-Attack, Defog, and Flamethrower, with a ton of mixed bulk in there, and a little bit of speed thrown in. So, it's just our main answer to Mega Latios, a pretty good answer to Terrakion as well. Flamethrowers for Klefki that thinks it can get an easy switch in. The special defense EVs avoids 2-hit KO from Psychic on Latios. 44 speed outspeeds 0 speed Celebi, and the rest went to HP and defense, of course, just to maximize overall mixed bulk. Like I said, if we wanted to take on Terrakion, it could definitely do that if we wanted. And that's pretty much it. Like I said, it was pretty straightforward. Silvally Fairy, I think, just makes sense this week. And now, we've got the GOAT's return. Mon number 3, Drampa! I promised I would bring Drampa at least twice this season. It's already week 5, and Drampa's going to be here twice. I am already so hyped to see what it can do this week. This is a special set that I put together that I think could be very effective, and in some of the mocks, it's swept. Let's talk about it. So, Choppleberry. That's very important, especially, we'll talk about it in a moment, but it's really for against Terrakion. Berserk ability, Roost, Hyper Voice, Hidden Power Ground, and Roar. Alright, this is going to require a bit of an explanation. It's charged with the task of checking a ton of Mons in this matchup, but it checks them really well, believe me. So it's designed to beat and phase out Suicune, Raikou, and it's a lure for Superpowered Darmanitan and Terrakion's close combat. So let's just say Raikou's setting up some Calm Minds. Not a problem, because I can roar it away. Or I could go for Hidden Power Ground or Hyper Voice, whatever I gotta do, but probably would just roar. Same with Suicune, easy. That's easy pickings. And like I said, a good lure for Superpowered Darmanitan. So if I go for Hyper Voice as he knocks me into Berserk range, that's a dead Darmanitan. We'll never see it again. It's gone. Similarly, Terrakion, it's really actually interesting. Let's talk about that. So the reason why we have the defense EVs we have is because we want, after Choppleberry, close combat from Terrakion to do exactly over 50%. We want to get into Berserk range. So therefore, Hidden Power Ground, when he loses his defense, his special defense rather, and I get a Berserk boost, KOs Terrakion, guaranteed, which is amazing. So that's what we're going for here. We want to get that Berserk boost and knock it out. And we can recover off with Roost against Raikou, Suicune, things later, which is really helpful here, for sure. So, similarly, that could happen with Darmanitan, thankfully. But it was EV'd with Terrakion in mind here. And also Hidden Power Ground at least gets some damage off to Klefki, although it's probably more like a 3-hit KO. But if I can get it into Berserk range or get a Berserk boost or two, yeah, I could probably 2-hit KO Klefki too with it. It would be really neat. So like I said, Roost is to harvest Berserk boosts with something like Raikou or Suicune. We want to stay out of 2-hit KO range as much as possible while still getting those boosts. And we want to be able to take, obviously, another reason why this Mon came, we wanted to take Flare Blitzes from Darm, and it definitely can. It can take anything from Darm, which is nice. The rest just goes to special defense, so it can take the Raikou and the Suicune on pretty darn well, if I do say so myself. That's my explanation for Drampa the Goat. Drampa the Goat is here to stay, guys. I couldn't be more hyped to use this Mon again. I love Drampa, especially after it saved the game last time. Jeez. Alright. Anyway, let's go talk about our fourth Mon now. We've got its first appearance this season on my team. We've got Mesprit. Leftover is Levitate, Stealth Rock, Psychic, Ice Beam, and U-Turn. Mostly physically bulky, with a little bit of speed and a little bit of special attack as well. So let's talk about it. So Mesprit. Its first appearance here. Mesprit is pretty straightforward. It's a physically defensive Mesprit. It's a good Terrakion answer once again. We've got 60 speed to outspeed the Gligar, so we can then go for an Ice Beam on it. It also hits Mega Latios super effectively, which is never a bad thing. It definitely could be in 2-hit KO range, depending on what kind of Mega Latios he has. And just so we have a way to take at least 1, maybe 2 hits from the Darmanitan, plus having the Earthquake. You know, we want him to be locked into Earthquake if he's Scarved, right? We can block that, basically, by being Levitate. We want that. That's why we want this Mon. We want to take hits from it if we mispredict as well as possible. And that's why we got Mesprit. Alright, so our next Mon for the week is MVP Jolteon. MVP from Season 1, that is. So we've got Magnet, Volt Absorb, Thunderbolt, Baton Pass, Toxic, and Signal Beam. So, this is an interesting Jolteon set as well. This is another one that kind of is a little quirky. Not quirky in nature, thankfully. So we got some pretty interesting EVs to start. We got 20 HP, 76 defense. Now that guarantees Klefki does not 2-hit KO Jolteon with a play rough, and it guarantees Drapion with max attack does not OHKO with Earthquake. So, T-Bolt at Magnet. So, with a Magnet, it does a ton of damage to Suicune, and it boosts Jolteon's strongest attack really well. It hits a lot of his team neutrally. Thank goodness for that, because we need a very strong stab move to hit some of his big threats. So Signal Beam is specifically for Celebi, and it also hits Mega Latios better than HP Ice. Now Baton Pass is there because he's got the Swampert, because he's got the Gligar, so I could get some momentum there. And Toxic is for Raikou, or for Swampert on a switch, any of those 2 Mons. And if I can get that off, I'd be doing, I think, really well in this game, because that'll wear those 2 Mons away quickly, and especially against Calm Mind Raikou, especially if Drampa is at too low a health to manage it, or if Drampa's gone completely. So the speed allows us to outspeed Raikou, and we're allowed to go Modest, which is so cool. Thank God for that. Big power there. Big power out of my MVP Jolteon. Alright, let's talk about the last Mon for the week. That last Mon is Mega Gallade. So we got Gallade, Justified Ability, becomes Inner Focus, of course. Ice Punch, Drain Punch, Leaf Blade, and Bulk Up with a whole bunch of EVs across the board once again. So it's pretty straightforward, though. It'll make sense when I talk about it. Bulk Up, it just has a lot of setup opportunities here, especially Terrakion, like Gligar, Drapion, even Raikou. Even, you know, I can take attacks from Darmanitan once I get one up. It's nice. So Life Orb Darmanitan doesn't OHKO Mega Gallade at +1 defense ever with those EVs, and so I can just Drain Punch the next turn, get tons of health back, get a KO, and he really doesn't have much else that can deal well with Mega Gallade. So Leaf Blade is for Suicune and Swampert, Ice Punch is for Gligar and Mega Latios, the rest is max speed, so we can speed tie Mega Latios, rest is an attack, so we can hit as hard as possible. Now I really like this prep this week. I would say it's one of my favorites so far. I really like for some reason there's something about having Drampa on the team that just makes me so happy and feel so confident. I want this game to go well so badly. You guys are going to see the results of the match tomorrow, so I look forward to presenting it tomorrow here on SportsCenter. Once again, give a big shout out to my boy Kaz and Gino and the other guys who did mock battles. So we got Dallas, we've got Jolt, and we've got Stab. Thank you guys so much. You guys are the heart and soul of this team, working so hard alongside me, and I could not be more grateful. Alrighty guys, so rate, comment, subscribe if you liked the video, and I can't wait to see you guys tomorrow. Peace!